did you go to school?
And here's your name.
What do you think of what's going on right now, mate?
These evil little invisible parasites.
Satan-worshipping Freemason moron.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
We're not run by factions.
Get the fuck out of camera!
There are much more powerful international forces in play.
Is this pink eye? Is this what pink eye is? I don't fucking know what's happening.
Please go outside and look at the moon quickly.
It's been crazy, guys, but guess what? It's how it is, mate.
Mate, because I want to do you slowly.
Well, I ain't spending any time on it.
Well, g'day, patrons, and welcome to our overflow. I think it's our second. Is it our second this year, Joel?
Yeah, something like that. I think
Something
we've done a few.
that.
I don't know.
But we do it for you because we love you, because we love the support you bring to us. It gives us a bit of time, a bit of a sense that we can spend a bit more time on the show itself, the conditional release program. But we also want to thank you and give us stuff. Well, we call it the overflow, but it's probably not quite right. We like to bring new news items. Along. It's not stuff that we've rejected from the show.
Well, it's the stuff that didn't fit in. I mean, we can't cover everything.
No, and there's just so much going on at any given time. I mean, it really has been this belt up of the COVID vaccine failed. And it's not only killing us all, but it was an absolute failure. And Pfizer, I mean, Moderna and all these others, just Johnson & Johnson, they've just been cut loose. But Pfizer is just getting the shit kicked out of it at the moment for reasons, basically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, let's face it. Pfizer.
And vaccines, COVID vaccines generally saved, according to a peer-reviewed report by mathematical statisticians who said, on our assessment, it's saved between 14 and 21 million lives in 2021 alone. Sorry,
that's fucking crazy.
14 and 20 million in 2021 alone, and it continues to do so.
Yeah.
So so I always figure the good way of looking at these things is to tell people who are anti-vaccine, so you're all for the deaths of 20 million people, are you?
Yeah.
And they are, in a way. That's a kind
of
moral fucking bankruptcy we're dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, look, we want to thank you again for your time. We had a Zoom meet last week, which was fantastic. It was a really good conversation. And those patrons who haven't joined us on it, when we do it, we sort of plan to do it monthly. Come and join us. And we also had someone joining us. Jimmy joined us to watch the recording of the show, or the early part of it, because he had to go and have his dinner.
Yes, we did fuck around at the start. We're always late. If you do end up doing backstage pass,
but we had a good
factor
chat.
It in.
We had a good chat with Jimmy,
and
that was really good too. So all those things are available just by way of thanks for your support to the program. And we kick off the overflow today, the overflow rule, with a gem from the pages of Natural News. I had not come across this until one of Joel's mates pointed it out to us. It is a journal of truthiness.
Yes, it really is.
And not a cult publication for doomsday preppers at all. They deny that completely.
No.
But they screamed out with a headline quoting the boss of the US Center for Disease Control.
And it said, video surfaces of CDC official calling for, in all caps, white genocide to eliminate all white vaccine refusers in America. Just America, by the way. No, nowhere else. Just America.
But Joel, you're white, and I'm pretty sure I am. So this is directed at us.
Shit.
I mean, white people, haven't we suffered enough, Joel?
It's been a rough year. It's been a really rough year. I'm a business owner. We are in the crosshairs. The fucking crosshairs. It's crystal knocked. I'm telling you right now.
It's crystal knocked, which slowly, as you continue to mispronounce it, becomes crystal night. Well, look, we've been vaccinated, so maybe it isn't about us. But
yes, well, we say we
worry that our unvaccinated white friends who've suffered so much will be frog marched onto trucks and made to eat crickets until they've had so many crickets that they die from cricket eating, only to be replaced by Mexicans who don't eat crickets and, to be fair, have rather lovely cuisine.
Well, you would be wrong there, Jack. The Mexicans love a good cricket. But they call them chapulines. They say they've got a different word for everything. It's crazy over there. It's like a parallel universe. And they're seasoned with garlic, lime juice, and chili, and they sound bloody lovely. I've had crickets in Thailand from the 7-Eleven, salt and pepper flavored, and they were genuinely fucking good. But this is an interesting one because Mexico, in a classic hegemonic move, because they're like that. They're quite imperialist when they get the chance.
Yeah. They
Oh,
always have
absolutely.
been.
I mean, look what happened in
always have
California.
been stepping on the United States whenever they get a chance.
Yeah, just building the country for them. The humble Chapulin can be found as a snack food sold at the Seattle Mariners home games in 2017, but maybe continuing, I'm not sure. Starting to make me think maybe Klaus Schwab's actually Mexican.
Yeah, could be.
Could be.
Those evil Mexicans, they're coming to replace those white folk who haven't
You will
taken the
eat
vaccine.
the Chapulins.
The report was set to show video of the boss of the CDC, which could be called the Center for Death and Killing. Because killing with a C, because cookers can't spell. The Center for, basically the boss of the CDC, Dr. Carol J. Baker, we'll get back to that in a minute, who reportedly said this.
Okay, so I have the solution. Every study published in the last 5 years, when you look at vaccine refusers, I'm not talking about hesitants. Most of them we can talk into coming to terms, but refusers will get rid of all the whites in the United States. Guess who wants to get vaccinated the most? Immigrants.
I knew it was them. Yeah, so there you go.
Chapulin-eating motherfuckers.
White genocide. Well, actually, no. There are a couple of things wrong with the Natural News report, and it has been widely reported elsewhere in the Cookerverse online. Firstly, there was no video. So if you go looking for the reports, not just on Natural News, but elsewhere, there's no video.
I went looking too, just in case.
And not on the Natural News website or on its source for the story, newspunch.com. Described by Wikipedia as, this is newspunch.com, described by Wikipedia as, Joel?
A Los Angeles-based fake news website, originally named Your Newswire, which might ring a few bells for listeners. It was founded in 2014 by Sean Adeltabatabai. See, we're going to skip that last name.
Very good.
Right?
No, very good.
And his husband, Sinclair Treadway. His husband! I expect better from you guys. Come on. In November 2018, it rebranded itself as News Punch. And Your Newswire was revived as a separate website in November 2020, rich time for fake news, and has continued publishing hoaxes similar to those in News Punch. A 2017 BuzzFeed report identified News Punch as being the second largest source of popular fake news stories spread on Facebook that year. Big honor, good gong. And in June 2018, Pointer Analysis identified News Punch as being debunked over 80 times in 2017 and 2018 by fact-checkers such as Snopes, FactCheck.org, PolitiFact, and the Associated Press. I mean, they're just articles that are worth fact-checking. The European Union's East Stratcom task force has criticised News Punch for spreading Russian propaganda.
Oh, the fucking Russians.
Yeah, they're at it again. Aren't they busy?
Hello, Sean and husband Sinclair Treadway.
Yeah,
got some Russian rubles in your kick there.
Yeah, those very valuable rubles. But it gets worse. The quote attributed to Dr. Carol J. Baker is entirely made up. It's a complete fiction.
Absolute fabrication.
She didn't say it. She didn't say those words. There's no video. There's no audio. There's no report in any reputable news agency of her uttering them at any time ever. I searched so hard to find.
Me too.
And it just...
Nothing.
Even I went DuckDuckGo.
She's never said these words. Yep.
It didn't happen. Now, of course, when I went to DuckDuckGo, a rich tapestry unfolded in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly just parallels of, just copy-paste jobs. But this story has been repeated by several other fake news regurgitator, aggregator type sites. And, of course, a ton of Nazi websites looking for reasons to be upset. Like they've got to be upset with the Jews, otherwise there's no reason to hate them.
Haven't we suffered enough?
It's so like that. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like we're kidding, but they're not. So, for example, the headline from wakeupsheeple.net, they ran with this, which is CDC boss, quote, "It's time to kill white people who refuse vaccines." That's not a quote. I mean, even the fake quote they did, it's not even in the fake quote.
It's in quotation marks. Yeah.
It's fucking insane. And that headline has more results on DuckDuckGo than I care to scroll through. Hundreds, maybe thousands.
Awful miss.
Scrolled down and went, okay, that's enough. That's it. And there's so many Nazi websites pushing this. But it's like they're not even trying to be legitimate. They're not even trying to trick people. They don't even need to try anymore. And it seems to work because their target audience, as I think you're all aware, are fucking morons.
Yeah. Actual idiots, yeah.
And just like the grifting pieces of shit who publish this stuff, we can report there is more here.
Yes, we did have a bit of a look, and is always more, Joel. Dr.
Yes.
Carol J. Baker is not the head of the CDC. That's
Aw.
Rochelle Paula Walensky's job. Our patrons probably already knew that.
I didn't.
Dr. Carol J. Baker is a professor of pediatrics at the McGovern Medical School at the University of Texas Health Science Center in Houston, Texas.
And she's a highly accomplished infectious disease clinician. I hate that word. Teacher and vaccinologist. Dr. Baker is known as the godmother of Group B Streptococcus prevention, which is good because if she was a godmother of the actual bacteria, that would be really dark.
No, that would be bad. No,
It would be bad, yeah.
Yes,
You want
it's
to
a disease called GBS.
Yes,
And it affects neonates. It doesn't affect adults. It affects neonates because their mothers, having recently given birth, have no actually maternal antibodies to pass on to them. So it can actually be fatal. GBS can actually be fatal in neonates.
And that's bad because children dying, surprisingly enough, is bad. And what she does is she prevents it. So this was for her groundbreaking recognition of the correlation between neonatal and infant GBS disease, which I'm sure is a very big deal in her field, but means nothing to me. I have no idea what she's fucking talking about. And the lack of maternal antibodies to the GBS capsular polysaccharide. Once again, I'm going to take it on trust that means something. Dr. Baker's discovery and advocacy led the United States to adopt routine screening and antibiotics to reduce early onset neonatal GBS disease. Once again, sounds like a good thing to me, which decreased incidence by more than 80%. Big number.
And now it's a global practice. Right?
Less dead kids. So during her lifetime, she's also worked tirelessly to advance and promote maternal immunization to prevent pediatric infectious diseases such as, pertussis, whooping cough. Good.
There you go. So that's probably why they think it's okay. But this is a woman who has literally saved thousands of lives, if not more. I mean, thousands of lives, neonates, newborns, and that's just a conservative estimate. It could be many more. So obviously she was going to get dragged to the ocean of madness, harassment, and vilification because of grifters like Mike Adams, the publisher of Natural News, and long time. This is what he calls himself. Well, no, that's not what he calls himself. Long-time pseudoscience bullshit artist, that's what I made up.
Yes.
Who describes himself as an activist turned scientist.
Does he? He calls himself the Health Ranger as well, which I really like.
That's his
so
nickname.
cringy.
But that's when he started calling himself an activist turned scientist. Now I'm a writer turned astronaut, Joel. What would you like to be when you grow up?
Oh, man, I wanted to be a programmer. So I did this correspondence course when I was like 12, and my parents were gracious enough to pay for it. And it was a lot of money. It was something disgusting like $1,000. But I assured them that this was going to be the starting point of one of the biggest things I've ever done in my life. I got through the first module and it was just really hard and I gave up. And I tried to get Dad to help me. And he was like, I have no idea why you think I can help you learn how to program. This is fucking gibberish to me. And unfortunately, that correspondence course went by the wayside. I was probably the youngest person to sign up for it. Unfortunately, not the youngest graduate of the program.
Probably the grift, Look, Adams has been doing this shit for almost 20 years, well before the COVID pandemic. His main beef back then was genetically modified foods, but that grift failed to catch on. Not enough dough there. So he went all in on the anti-vax grift. He famously looked at a chicken nugget under a microscope and identified what he described as hair-like fibres.
Fuck off.
Now, you can push all the anti-vax fear porn you like, pal, but you leave our fucking nuggies alone, you terrorist.
So the last word on Adams for this overflow anyway, because I think we're going to go real hard on him in the
we're
future.
going back.
It's
We're
just a
going back.
rich source of nonsense. It's a sterling reference from the one and only Alex Jones. Quote, I ended up listening to most of the 3 hours of Mike Adams. What an incredible job that guy did. I gotta say, of all the fill-in hosts, and they all do a great job, I think Mike does the best job. And it's just good to know there's other people out there that really get it and are so articulate and just are so effective. And he's such a gentleman.
Yeah, so those are the words out of the mouth of Alex Jones. And we don't have to be experts in syllogistic logic to come to the realisation that if Alex Jones thinks you're great, ipso facto, you are a fuckwit, and generally a dangerous one.
Yeah. Midas touch stuff. So, speaking of Alex Jones, Jones believes Chinese balloons will kill us all. Oh, I've got things to do on Monday. Such a shame.
I know.
Just 8, according to Jones, will kill off all of America. So probably 1 or 2 Chinese balloons would probably do us in Australia.
No,
I mean,
just one probably.
you reckon? Yeah. We got really big wins. So do they, apparently. They probably just need to sort of chuck a tennis ball to kill everyone in New Zealand because it's not a big place.
Now, look, there has been some fairly excitable news around the Chinese balloon, which traversed much of the continental US over the last few days. The Pentagon describes it as a surveillance balloon, which it almost certainly is.
Yes.
Or should I say was, because the US Air Force shot it down off the coast of South Carolina on Saturday night, Australian Eastern Daylight Time.
Damn shame.
Now, the People's Republic of China, or the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, maintains it was a simple weather monitoring balloon.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. It's cloudy and cold over Montana's Maelstrom Air Force Base with a chance of espionage and intellectual property theft developing in the evening.
Yeah, exactly. So House Oversight Chairman James Comer, an actual elected representative from ding, 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 the Republican Party, and a Kentuckian to boot, suggested to Fox News on Friday that the suspected Chinese spy balloon floating over the United States could contain bioweapons from Wuhan.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
Wuhan.
That's a bad thing.
The strange thing was that Comer and his fellow congressional Republicans were calling President Joe Biden weak, calling him alliteratively. Oh, still didn't get it out. Calling him weak alliteratively. Beijing Biden. I've got to just move on. Beijing Biden for not shooting it down. What, shoot down a Wuhan bioweapon unleashing spores of death on the American people, you idiots.
That sounds bad.
Shoot it down. No, wait, don't shoot it down.
No.
Yeah, fuck it, just shoot it down.
Yeah.
Oh, God, we don't know anymore. Yeah, US defense officials had said they couldn't shoot the balloon down for fear of debris killing people or destroying property.